All right, so I had a really brilliant question from one of my community members, and she's a parent who notices that when her child does something, like spills milk or swears in public, she notices that, first of all, she's conscious enough to know that she's truly not angry at her child, but she herself is being triggered. And so I really want to talk about that because that, first of all, that is such a conscious way of parenting. And those are the parents that are diving into this way of being with their child. So I commend that question. And a little known fact that maybe you don't know because you're not a therapist, but when we're being triggered, those triggers are feelings, developmental needs and or traumas that are bringing us back to a root feeling. So for instance, when she's triggered that her child is yelling in public, that is down to a shame reaction. And I would bet that shame reaction comes from a younger self. And now that is why we need to reparent ourselves so that we can evolve as parents. Because when we know that we're being triggered, first of all, knowing that it is not the child, so we're not going to react or put on blame for the child, but we're going to take a step back and we're going to tend to that trigger. Now, when we're triggered, say for instance that shame was an experience that she was shamed for as a child by her parent. Now, let's make up that she was 7 when that happened. Well, you are going to react like a regressed 7-year-old. So are there times that you're just going along in your day and doing your parenting stuff, something happens and you're like, react in a way that's so regressed and so much more emotional than is called for in that particular instance? Like, Mom, you're just picking me up from swim class and I left my cap in the locker room. You're kind of losing it. Okay, that is an indication that when your child goes to bed, it is a beautiful time to journal. Let's journal and try and follow that emotion to the age in which it was brought to you. Now, can you tend that 7-year-old in you? If you can just listen to her about her being shamed by her dad, or whenever she forgot anything, she was separated and felt abandoned. If she's able to, in any way, tend to that part of her, she is going to show up as a better parent, a more whole, integrated parent the next day. So it's not that you'll never react or overreact or do things you regret as a parent. No, you're never going to be perfect. You're never going to do it perfect. It's never going to be exactly textbook what you should do. And yes, you will screw up, but you're not screwing up your child. There's a difference. And if you are awake enough to be like, whoa, I need to jot that down and tend to myself when everybody's asleep tonight, or tomorrow morning I need to set my alarm 20 minutes early, that is amazing. Like, hats off to you. That is exactly what your child needs and what your child will remember when they grow up and thank you later when they're, 40, and be like, wow, Mom, you really showed up for me in a way that I know Grandma didn't. And so you're breaking those patterns, you're breaking those cycles. every time you get a trigger. So maybe we should reframe triggers. Like, thank God they happen, because that's a way for you to be like, oh, I get the opportunity, right? Yay, to hold that part of me again. So good job.